Today's video is on 5 weird things that were found in people's food.
Number 5. A knife in the Subway chicken sandwich. In 2008, 52-year-old Martin Venner and his wife Deborah, 48, popped into the St. Austell Cornwall branch of the Subway sandwich chain and ordered their usual sweet chili chicken sandwich. When they unwrapped their sandwich, they were shocked to find a 4-inch knife inside. Martin immediately contacted environmental health officers and approached the franchise owner to tell him of his discovery. Rather than the heartfelt apology he expected to receive, the owner said, "If you want to try running a small business, go ahead." What's more, they asked for the knife back and then went on to question if the knife was really from there, stating there was no evidence to suggest that it came from there at all. Subway head office assured customers the matter was being thoroughly investigated internally. Number 4. Severed finger in a sandwich. In 2012, 14-year-old Ryan Hart popped into an Arby's in Jackson, Michigan, where he ordered a roast beef sandwich for lunch. When he tucked into it, he got a mouthful of employee's finger, the severed, fleshy pad that had been freshly cut off in the kitchen. According to Arby's, the employee sliced her finger on the meat slicer and went to tend to it without alerting her colleagues or telling anyone about the incident. The meats, along with her severed digit, got scooped up and used in poor Ryan's meal. The chain insisted it was an isolated and unfortunate incident, but they did shut down the restaurant so it could be thoroughly sanitized. Apparently, finding severed fingers in food isn't uncommon, with the TGI Fridays diner finding one in his hamburger in 2006, and in 2005, a North Carolina man got unwanted addition to his frozen yogurt. Before we move on, make sure to subscribe to our channel with notifications on. Number 3. Bullets in hot dogs. In 2004, 31-year-old Mission Viejo resident Olivia Chen ordered a hot dog from the Costco food court. Initially, everything seemed and tasted fine. After a couple of bites, however, she bit into something hard she initially thought was a part of her braces. Further investigation, however, revealed it to be none other than a live 9mm round of ammunition. If that wasn't enough of a shock, the woman later complained of abdominal pains. A trip to the emergency room and an x-ray revealed that she had, in fact, swallowed a second bullet without even knowing. Doctors decided in this situation the safest thing to do was allow Olivia's body to pass the bullet on its own. Police officers immediately searched the premises that served the food and all remaining packages of Hebrew National hot dogs, but found no further items of suspicion. No one could attest to the origin of the bullet, but Costco ensured all hot dogs were passed through a metal detector prior to leaving the factory. The chain labeled the incident concerning but isolated. Number 2. A dead mouse in Mountain Dew. Gruesome discoveries aren't limited to solid foods. In 2012, a lawsuit was filed against PepsiCo by Illinois native Ronald Ball. The 52-year-old from Madison County claimed to have found an entire dead mouse in his can of Mountain Dew. Ball made the purchase from a vending machine at his workplace, and after he took a sip, he became instantly, violently ill and vomited. Ball claimed that the contents of the can were poured into a styrofoam cup, where the dead rodent was then discovered. Ball took out the suit against PepsiCo, hoping to get $50,000 in damages. PepsiCo wasn't going down without a fight, and claimed the mouse would have dissolved into a jelly-like substance after being inside the can of soda after 30 days. As the can was over a year old, this should have been the case. Eventually, PepsiCo settled for an undisclosed amount at the end of 2012, all while maintaining their innocence. This isn't the first time that a rodent was found inside a can of soda. In 1994, the FDA officially revealed that they found a rotting rat inside a Diet Pepsi can in Orange County. There has also been a couple of other reports, including the one of a man in Texas finding a decomposed rat in a Coke bottle. Nobody knows exactly how they got there, but the only possible explanation is a mouse infestation of some sort at the factory. Number 1. A decomposed frog in a Diet Pepsi can. A soda can may be the last place you'd expect to find something gross. I mean, how does something get sealed up in a metal can anyways? It seems impossible, but to this Pepsi drinker's dismay, the can harbored something foul. On a hot summer day, a Florida man named Fred DeNegri took a huge gulp of Diet Pepsi, but the soda didn't go down the way he expected. It tasted horrible and was thick like slime. Immediately, he began gagging and almost threw up. Fred was shocked and confused, so he quickly rushed inside to get to the kitchen sink. He began pouring out the contents and chunks started flopping out from the inside. He tried to pour the rest out on a plate, but the soda had just about all come out. However, the can still had weight. Something inside of it shifted around as he moved the can. He knew that something foreign had contaminated his drink. Pieces that looked like pink linguine slipped out of the can and onto the plate, but try as he might, something in there refused to come out. Fred contacted Poison Control and the FDA and demanded that the can be inspected. The FDA didn't take very long in discovering just what the abnormality was in the can that day. It sparked an investigation into the facility that produced the Pepsi in Fred's area, with no explanation as to how what got in there. The FDA report told Fred that he had consumed the decomposing remains of a frog or a toad who had turned into a mush inside the soda. Pepsi is quite acidic, and the frog or toad had dissolved into a jelly-like substance. It's unknown as to whether or not Fred was compensated for his experience, but according to Fred and his wife, Pepsi didn't take too much of an interest beyond having the can inspected. Decomposing frog earns a top spot on our list of 5 weird things found in food. Now, let's take a look at some honorable mentions. Syringe in fast food meal. On the morning of June 18, 2001, Angelina Cruz was on her way to a job at a local jewelry store. Stopping at a nearby Burger King, Angelina ordered a sausage, egg, and cheese croissant. While chewing her second bite, she immediately knew something was very, very wrong. Angelina experienced a sharp piercing pain in her cheek. She spat out the partially chewed breakfast sandwich, along with a not insignificant amount of blood and the tip of what appeared to be a syringe into her napkin. Angelina has brought the object in question to the attention of the store manager and then went to the local police. According to her attorney, she has expressed intense concern of contracting HIV as a result of the puncture wound and stated she was not even willing to kiss her children because of what she may or may not have contracted. Angelina was even under the care of a psychiatrist due to how traumatizing the incident was for her. She also brought an $11 million suit against Burger King. Brain-eating pork tapeworm. At the beginning of 2018, a man from Florida started seeing a small black dot in his left eye that he initially mistook for an eye floater. Turns out it was actually a brain-eating pork tapeworm that had made its way from his intestines into his bloodstream and then into his eyeball, where it continued to grow. The man believed that he contracted the worm after eating undercooked pork during the holidays. If the worm had remained and died inside the eye, the man could have experienced permanent blindness. Luckily, the worm was successfully removed in a surgical procedure by an eye specialist, and just in time too, as the worm was found to be fertilized at the time removal, carrying approximately 20 million eggs. The scariest part of the whole ordeal is the man was ironically lucky that the worm chose to reside in his eye, not only because it made him aware of the problem, but because this type of parasite tends to gravitate towards the brain, eating tiny holes that lead to seizures and eventually death.
I hope you all enjoyed today's video, narrated by Zach this time. Be sure to subscribe for more and check out some of our recent uploads.